what's up? It's me, Karen, your favorite booktuber, and today we're going to be talking about the films that I watched in August. If you were subscribed to my newsletter, you would have already heard about my August film challenge, which was to watch 15 films within the 31 days of August. Now, I do have to say there were some other challenges. There were 3 other challenges, and if you want to hear more about them, you have to subscribe to the newsletter. Feel free to do it. The link is in the bio, and it is also free. Anyways, now I want to discuss the films that I watched. This was a really exhausting endeavor. I did not realize how tiresome it would be. The first 4 films that I watched were 2 hours long, and that nearly killed me. There were multiple times in the month where I was like, I wanted to give up. I wanted to throw the towel in. I was about to say toss the rag, but I didn't. I persevered, and I think it's good to follow through on the things you say you want to do. But having completed the challenge, I'm kind of just like, I don't know why I did that. I don't think I will do this again. Don't let me do this again. Now, I was considering talking through all 15 films, but I just don't know. I think that would take too long. And also, there is a way in which I want to make this video a little bit more dynamic than the one that I did last month, where I spoke about 3 films and I only included screenshots of the film. Ideally, like here, I'll include some video footage if I can figure out how to get some video footage of the films that I watch. But I'm only going to talk about 5 films, and I'm also not going to talk about the 5 best or the 5 worst or 2 good ones, 2 bad ones, 1 middling one, because I don't do star ratings. It's not something I'm into. And I just, I can't reduce something to a star rating. The only stars I believe in are the astrological ones. Those are the only signs that mean anything to me. Now, having said that, what I'm going to do, because I watched 15 films, I'm going to do a random generator. I know other people would screen record and show you, but I don't know how to screen record on my laptop. So instead, I'm just going to do it in the moment, and then we're going to go to my list, and we're going to talk about whatever. If I get film number 4, we're going to talk about that. Whatever it may be. You know how this works. Anyways, random generator starts now. Okay, the first film is the 11th film. Okay, that was that's kind of a silly film to start with. The 11th film that I watched was 2 Can Play That Game. Towards the end of this challenge, I started to only kind of pick films that were an hour and 30 minutes. And 2 Can Play That Game fit into that. And also, I think I really needed something that was really light, because I had watched a dark film, a dark comedy, a bleak comedy. Should I also add the kind of films that I like? I knew this beforehand, but it's really been solidified. I like black comedies, and I like absurd films. That's what I like the most. Okay, now having said that, the 11th film that I watched was 2 Can Play That Game. That is a story of a woman. This is very much so a product of its time. It came out in 2001, and I do think it fits into with that book, Men Love Bitches, and there's other books out there, Women Who Love Too Much. It fits into that. This woman is a career woman. She's living in LA. She has her own house, and when she shows us the house, because she's speaking to the camera, there's a lot of breaking the fourth wall. She goes, from a girl from Compton has really risen up in that. Yeah, that's my house. She says something along the lines of that. And so what she's good at, she's good at so many things, but she's also good at keeping her man in check and doling out advice to her friends. But very quickly, we discover her man has been acting up. He told her he was working late at the office, and instead she saw him at the club doing a little 1-step, a 2-step with another woman. And so she decides on this 2-week program to get him back on track. And you're seeing that progress, and then you're seeing her think about it, and then you'll switch to the point of view of the man. The man does not break the fourth wall, but he's getting advice from his friend, and it's just funny. And they're really just playing a game of chess amongst each other and trying to one up each other, and it's very psychological. It was funny. The best line for me, and I think I took a screenshot of this, was, "Every girl's got a bit of hoe on them, but Connie's different." Yeah, so it was a fun film. Okay, let's move on to another film, courtesy of the generator. Film number 1. Okay, wow. The first film that I watched was Blanche. This is a French film that came out in 1971, and the reason I watched this is because on on Twitter, I follow 20 accounts. I never post on Twitter, but I've curated my thing so that I only see, film stills, the occasional fashion news from not fashion publications, but people who I think of as thought leaders, and a few other accounts. And so I had seen stills for this film and I was really moved by the beauty of it. However, the stills that they chose were from the very early scenes. I'll include the photo. This was the main character, Blanche, wearing this like headpiece. I don't know why I'm explaining it to you because the photo's right there, but I was just like, whoa, this seems stunning. I need to watch it more. And basically that was kind of the height of the fashion, but it's fine. There's a lot of wimples and these really like sleek gowns that show off how beautiful Blanche was. But basically this film, wow, starts off super absurd, and then the second half is really dark, and it is based on a story. Let me pull up that for you. Like a Polish story from the 1800s or something like that. So the film is set in, I think, 13th century France, but is inspired by a story from 18th century Poland. And it is the tale of Blanche, this woman who's quite like virginal and pure and naive, who is married to an old man, but becomes the object of desire for all of the major men in this film. And that would be the visiting king, the king's squire, and her stepson. Now, having said all of that, this is a film that starts in a way that, as I mentioned, is really absurd, and it kind of reminded me of Monty Python, and then later on I realized I guess this film was an inspiration for Monty Python, but don't quote me on that. And then as we move, it just gets dark and dark, and they did Blanche so dirty. All of these men are horrible to her, and it ends also in a way that is very, all of them suffer, except for the king. I'm sorry that ruins it for you, but yeah. And also, I just thought it was like really interesting. I think that if you went to Lapvona, maybe you would like this film. The first half, obviously, as I mentioned, is really absurd. I keep on mentioning that. You gotta give it a rest. We could have like cut that down a little bit more because a lot of the action does happen towards the last third of the film, and it's these ideas of purity, religion, love, desire, lust. Those are really big, and like, what does it mean to be honorable? Yeah. Okay, that's that film. So we've done 2 out of the 5 films I want to discuss. Back to the random generator. Number 7. Film number 7. What was that? Okay, the 7th film that I saw was The Daytrippers. Now, I thought this was really delightful. It has such strong dialogue, and I think I like films where they kind of talk a lot. Starts off as what you think. It's interesting because this is a story of a girl whose sister finds out a secret about her husband, and the whole family gets involved. They live in Jersey. They all get into, I think it's a station wagon that's broken. The heater's not working, and they drive into the city and they try to track him down. And what's interesting about this is that the sister isn't the focus point, even though she is the one whose storyline is driving this film along. The focus is actually on the sister, who is played by Parker Posey. And Parker Posey, I think, does such a great job of being like playing a really disaffected and sardonic and sarcastic character. Like, she's so good at that. And once again, the sister is like that. But it's really about her. And then when the film ended, I realized this is actually a story about the mother. Even though we are looking at the family, we have 2 sisters, mother, father, and Parker Posey's boyfriend, who is like a pseudo-intellectual. So there's these 5 characters. They're all in the car together. They get into cahoots in New York City. And then as it progresses, though, there's this underlying tension, and you're seeing the family dynamic, and you're seeing how the mother, who's very overbearing and just like thinks she knows best for her daughters, actually doesn't. And you see at the very end, like, her own just dismay with her life. I really thought this was fun. However, the last 10 minutes I kind of didn't entirely love, I think, because the way the twist is done is just a bit off to me, and I don't think if this film was made now it would well, anyways. And then I just wish we got like one more scene. I would have loved one more scene about what the sister got up to and who Parker Posey ends up picking. All the characters, I think, did such a great job acting. What was really great about this film is that you saw a lot of the ways, like, one of the characters would be speaking, then behind them you would see one of the other characters like being like, can you believe this? Like making faces or like speaking out loud to someone else. Like you could see very well on their faces, like what they were really thinking. And I think that was like it's so just how things are in real life. Like someone can be talking and you're just like, can you believe this guy? Those things happen. And I think a lot of films kind of don't show that, but that just adds a level of truth to the telling. Okay, that was that. Oh, I think also, if we're gonna do film book comparisons, because I guess I have sort of done that. I don't think I did it for the second film, whatever the second film was. Oh, no, I did, right? Okay, Daytrippers. I think if you read Worry by Alexandra Tanner, you might like the Daytrippers. The 8th film that I watched was, 9 to 5, which I mentioned in my August reading wrap-up. I mentioned that because I watched this book. I watched this movie because I heard it mentioned in 2 books, Ask Not, I believe, and Jackie as editor, because both of these films mention how once Jackie Onassis started working in publishing, her daughter recommended that she watch this film. So she goes to the cinemas and she watches this film. So I decided to watch it. This movie came out in the 1980s and it's looking at women in the workforce. We have Jane Fonda, Dolly Parton, and another famous actress whose name is Lily Tomlin. You have these 3 women, like such a fun film, and they work in this office in New York, and the Jane Fonda character is, young, naive. This is her first job. She's never worked before. Her husband left her because he was cheating on her with his secretary, and then you have the character that Lily is playing, who's been working in the office for so long and she's been overlooked for so many jobs. And then you have Dolly Parton, who is the secretary for the boss man, and people don't like her because they think that she is sleeping with the boss. And so these 3 women end up uniting and they have to take down their boss because he's horrible and really sexist, and it's just a fun little romp. And there are these moments because at one point in the middle, the girls all get high and they have they reveal their fantasies about how they'd like to get back on their boss, and that's just like really funny, or just like not funny per se, but it's just a moment of levity to the film. And then they get into cahoots and hijinks and things progress, and I thought it was like fun. I do have to say what was really interesting for this is I liked the outfits. They all looked like so well dressed to go into the office, and I think there was a really interesting way in which the color blue was working. Mostly I'm really thinking of this one outfit, or two outfits. Dolly and Jane Fonda were both wearing this kind of eggshell blue, and it was just so nice. And the other thing that the costuming does here is that Jane Fonda, when she first walks into the office, is wearing just another blue outfit, I believe, but it's patterned, and she has a hat, and she just looks so not professional. She looks great. She's dressed really nicely and stylishly, but it's not office appropriate at all. And I thought that was a really interesting way to show how she was out of her league and just not, I mean, that sounds so obvious to say, but it was just interesting to see how that outfit really helped show that. Okay, that was a 4th film. Now let's go into the 5th film. What number will we get? Oh, we got 14. How random. I don't want to talk about that film. Sorry. 1 again, 11. Didn't I already do that? Oh, this is a really bad generator. This is from Google. Okay, 3, the 3rd film that I watched. Oh, okay, this is a good one to talk about because it's literary inclined. The 3rd movie that I watched was Listen Up, Philip. This came out in 2014. This is the story of an up-and-coming writer. He's published his first book. The second one is just about to come out, and he's like a piece of work. He's just so pompous and angry and isolated, and he ends up meeting his idol, a man who's like probably what he will end up being in 50 years, and they end up bonding and talking, and you're seeing their lives and their relationship with women and the ways in which, like, the decisions they make and how their desire to keep everyone else away, and how they think so highly of themselves, and they don't view others in a very kind, gracious capacity. They think that other people will one-up them or be using them because of their fame, whatever, and you're seeing these parallels between the two. I liked it. One of the things that I really liked about this film is how there's a narrator. And so this narrator will come on every now and then and just like give you background information. And I liked that. I want more of that in films. Every film should have a narrator. And so this narratorial voice will come in and give us some of the insights that you can't get through films, i.e. like backstory without doing a flashback, or just filling in the details. And I thought that was so fun. And I guess the reason it works for this film is because this is a film about authors. And that was really fun. There's also the ways in which we see Philip, who's the younger author. You see Philip's girlfriend become her own person, which is a redeeming story arc, but at times I could have done without it, because I would just liked seeing the banter between the younger author and the older author, and the way that they just thought so highly of themselves. And yeah, I liked seeing that. If I'm trying to think of what kind of book recommendation, what book pairing I would do with this, I don't know, read Philip Roth. I think that's why it's called Listen Up, Philip. But I don't think there's anything that I read recently that really ties into Listen Up, Philip that well. But yeah, those were 5 of the films that I watched. I won't be doing this project again, and I won't be doing a film a day, but it's good to know, it's good to accomplish things, and I accomplished something. But ideally, next month, I only watch 4 films. I still have a lot of lovely recs from you guys, which I really appreciate. So I will see you guys later. I hope you watch something good if you are movie inclined. Bye.